Hello beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night whenever you are watching this. Today's reading, we are going to be taking a look at the next chapter in your love life, and this reading in specific is for those of you who are single, or maybe you just got out of a relationship. But there is going to be another reading that's coming up right after this that will be looking at the next chapter for those of you who are in a relationship or maybe in a complicated situation. But to do this reading, I have 3 piles. I'm going to add the crystals and I'll be right back. Here I've added the crystals. For pile 1, you have this tumbled rose quartz. It's like the polished version of it. For pile 2, we have this rose quartz tower. And for pile 3, we have this raw rose quartz. Pick whichever pile number, and or crystal is calling you most. And that is going to be your reading. Timestamps will be listed down below along with the decks that I use. That's always in the description box. And now let's get into your readings. Hello pile 1, how are you doing? You've chosen this tumbled or palm stone. Actually, I think this is a palm stone. Rose quartz. I'm going to keep your crystal right here. And well, let's get into your reading. I actually had a few messages that came through. Let me get your oracle cards first. I had a few messages that came through that for a few of you, I was feeling like something you previously felt was unsuccessful is turning around in this next chapter, or that just because the first time you try something and it doesn't work out doesn't mean that it's a dead end. Like an example to help paint this picture was like if you tried online dating and it didn't work out, that doesn't mean that it's a dead end. Maybe you just needed more time to develop or something like that. But there's definitely a message like that coming through of like, hold on. Okay, so that sneeze was definitely confirmation to what I was saying. It feels like this next chapter, one of the things that was coming through is like, just because you tried something before doesn't mean that it won't work out if you try it again. Or like, don't knock it just because it didn't work the first time. Like, it feels like keep going or like keep trying and make adjustments, because I'm also having to make a lot of adjustments during your reading. So it feels like being open to make adjustments, which maybe is what this next chapter is all about, is being open to making adjustments, or not all about, but like that could be part of this next chapter. And that message may only resonate for some of you, but now let's get into your oracle cards. So this Otter Spirit represents the energy of this next chapter, or this otter card. We then have community and stillness, and ojas and positivity. Okay, so one of the first things that's coming to me, because we have otter as the energy of your next chapter in love, it feels like this next chapter is very playful, very adventurous, and even with positivity here, it feels like happy and uplifting, good vibes also is what I'm feeling like. I think you're enjoying this next chapter very much. It's not like there's a whole lot of pressure. It feels like you're kind of going with the flow and you're just enjoying it. You're at peace with it. Like even with community and stillness, partly I feel like this next chapter in love, even if it doesn't deal with romantic love, for some of you, it feels like you're finding a really supportive community for you, and it feels like you're really feeling supported, like you're feeling loved. So this doesn't necessarily have to do with romantic love, this particular message, but I feel like in the next chapter of your love life, you're really feeling loved. You're feeling supported. You're feeling like you found your people, you know, like your friends, your community, your support system. I feel like it feels very positive and uplifting. I feel like this next chapter in your love life is going to be one where you feel very supported, very loved, very cared for, and free to enjoy, free to just play and have fun and be carefree. Like, it doesn't feel like you have too many burdens on your shoulders in terms of your love life. It doesn't feel like there's all this pressure. It doesn't feel like you have to worry. It feels like you're leaving the worry at the door also, because both the otter and in the stillness card, the swan, are facing towards the right. It feels like you're moving forward. You're moving on from any past situations, and it just feels like you're freeing yourself and you're enjoying your life and moving on, having like enjoyable life experiences. And in terms of your love life, it feels like you're enjoying a lot of good company. I also want to say that marigold, typically for me, I associate it with weddings and marriage. So for some of you, you could be meeting somebody in this next chapter of your love life, because we also have this swan here. But it's interesting because on this card, the swan is alone, and I feel like sneezing again. Hold on. Okay, so again, I sneezed again, which doesn't usually happen during readings. I don't sneeze too much, so I really feel like there's going to be a lot of synchronicities for you. But because this swan is alone, I do feel like this next chapter, you're really prioritizing your well-being. So even if you meet somebody, because for some of you, I do have a feeling that you will meet somebody who has really long-term potential with somebody, because we have this dream catcher. Maybe you've been seeing them in your dreams a lot, or you've like dreamt of this type of person, but it feels like it's a very synchronistic meeting. However, it also feels like this next chapter, as it unfolds, you're still pouring into you. So you're not abandoning yourself for the relationship, which I really love to see, but also it feels like in this next chapter, you're taking care of yourself. Like, your priority is to care for yourself, to pour into yourself, to nurture yourself, and to love yourself. And because of that, it feels like the other relationships in your life aren't feeling so pressured, or it doesn't bother you if, you know, other relationships aren't pouring into you the same way that you would want them to, because you're doing it for yourself. It really feels like this next chapter in your love life is very self-focused, like caring for yourself, and not self-focused in a bad way, but in a really uplifting and powerful way, in a positive way. And because we literally have the card of positivity here, it feels like the next chapter in your love life is really peaceful and positive, and I think you're really enjoying it. I feel like you're really feeling loved and playful, like free to play and enjoy. You could also be going on a lot of dates during this next chapter, whether it's with one person or with multiple different people. That's you know, that'll depend on your situation. But I do feel like this next chapter in your love life, you're really prioritizing experiences and enjoying those things rather than like outcomes. So let's get your tarot cards. So Spirit, what is the main theme of pile one's next chapter in love? What is the main, whoa, we have, how do you want this to fall? The Knight of Pentacles being reversed. So it feels like the main theme is getting unstuck. Maybe you've been, for some of you, stuck on a person or stuck in a cycle or a loop in your love life, and things haven't felt like they've been progressing, and maybe it's been causing a bit of conflict within you, or maybe it's caused some like pressure or like challenging situations in your life. But I feel like this next chapter, the main theme of it is movement. So it's not slowing down. I mean, I know we have this stillness card, but I feel like this stillness card represents your inner world. Your inner world is at peace. Your inner world is slowing down. It's not chaotic. It's not consumed by your love life. It's not worrying about when your love life is going to look how you want it to. It feels like you're actively creating that in this next chapter. And because of that, you feel internally at peace with your next chapter. But it also feels like things are progressing and moving forward. Just like I was saying with Otter and this swan here. And the main theme does, like, the first word that came to me was unstuck. So this main theme for your next chapter in your love life feels like you're getting unstuck, like there's movement and momentum happening, but internally you're feeling really at peace and still. Like you don't have a lot of chaos internally about your love life. I feel like in this next chapter in your love life, you're really going to be at peace with it. So when you think about it, or when like questions around it come up, you will be at peace internally. It won't be so conflicting for you. You won't be worried about it. Like it feels like this next chapter, you're not really worrying about your love life. You're prioritizing yourself and caring for yourself and your experiences, and so you're just enjoying life. You're pouring into your life experiences, and your love life is unfolding peacefully as well. I also feel like the main theme of this next chapter in your love life is addressing any stuck feelings. So if you have felt like areas of your love life have been stuck, it feels like you're addressing that in this next chapter. You're exploring that, you're addressing that, but again, it's coming from this inner peace. Like it's coming from this place of being at peace internally. This also makes me feel like enjoying the moment. So the next chapter of your love life, the main theme feels like enjoying the moment, not feeling like you need to rush to a destination or an outcome or anything like that. Like even if you get into a relationship, you meet somebody and you get into a relationship, this feels like you're not rushing things. You're not feeling like you need to rush the relationship. Like you're allowing it to unfold. You're being present with it and going at the natural speed of the relationship. And so it just feels like there's not this pressure. Like it just feels like things are flowing naturally and you're enjoying the moment. You're enjoying each moment and you're being very present and intentional with it. I really love this for you, Pile 1. Pile Spirit, what blessing is coming into Pile 1's love life in this next chapter? What is one blessing that's coming in to Pile 1's love life in this next chapter? We have the 9 of Cups being reversed. And we have the Knight of Cups here too. Because this is a blessing, it's like it came upright. And the 9 of Cups upright is a card of wish fulfillment. So I would also say, take a moment to pause this video and make your wish for the next chapter of your love life. Make your wish, because it feels like the blessing that's coming true or coming into your love life is an internal wish that you've had. A desire that you've had for love, something that you may have been actively seeking. It's like you no longer have to seek it. The reason I feel like this Knight of Cups is coming reversed is because you no longer have to seek it. You're not looking for it because you already have it. So let's say, for example, just to help paint this picture, you've been looking for a relationship because you wanted to feel loved and you wanted to experience life with another person and you wanted to do all those things. It feels like even before somebody else comes into your life, a blessing that's coming in this next chapter is you're already feeling that way. And because you're already feeling that way, you no longer are looking outside of you. And interestingly enough, it's at that moment that exactly what you desire ends up coming in. Because you're no longer, like, it almost gives me a feeling of when you lost something and you're looking so hard for it and you can't seem to find it, and then you just like give up on it, you move along, and then you end up finding it. That's what this feeling, or that's what this is giving me, is like the blessing that's coming in is what you've been looking for. you're receiving, but you're receiving it, interestingly enough, right when you stop looking for it, because you feel like you've already found it within you. But it really feels like this next chapter, the emphasis is on self-love and you caring for yourself, and everything that you want seems to be coming in as you care more and more for yourself, as you refocus your attention on you and stop looking outside of you. And that's what it feels like you're doing, because the blessing that's coming in is like you're not focused on the external or seeking love externally. It's like you're pouring into yourself so much that the external has no other option but to match that. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. Let's see a challenge to be mindful of during this next chapter in your love life. Spirit, what is one challenge to be mindful of for pile 1? We have the Chariot being reversed. Lots of reversals here. And then the 4 of Cups. The first thing I'm getting is a challenge during this next chapter that might come up is being able to tell the difference between what is aligned versus what isn't aligned. Because I'm hearing being able to tell the difference between what is boring versus peaceful. Like what is boring because it's peaceful versus boring because it's misaligned. And I feel like as you move through this next chapter, that's what you'll be learning, and that's what you'll be becoming more comfortable with, like discerning and identifying the difference between what is actually boring because it's misaligned versus what's boring simply because it's peaceful. And in that case, it's not really boring, it's just it's peaceful. There's not chaos and all of that type of stuff. I also feel like a challenge that you may need to be mindful of during this next chapter is to not let whatever's happening in your external reality keep you feeling down, or because I'm getting like this 4 of Cups here. It feels like to me a challenge could be looking at your external reality and being like, is this it? Is this like all that will ever happen? Or is this really all that will ever come to me? And even with this Chariot being reversed, it feels almost like internally feeling like things are not working out, or things are not balanced, or things aren't aligning. So like I feel like the challenge to be mindful of is not letting that sort of thought pattern or that mental loop get the best of you. Like if it happens, that's okay, sit with it, but ultimately try to do your best to move past that by pouring into yourself, like redirecting your attention back to yourself is what this feels like. And ironically, it's through that you'll start to see more opportunities in your love life open up. I do feel like with this Chariot being reversed here, one of the challenges that you may experience may be this cycle that you have found yourself in your love life, if that resonates with you, coming back up again. And I feel like it's coming back up so you can address it. Like we were saying with this Knight of Pentacles, it feels like addressing it. So that may be one of the biggest challenges that you'll have to work through during this next chapter, is addressing the cycles and patterns that you may have been facing in your love life. And it feels like Spirit's advice to you is to face it, but know that like that's not it. That's not all that there is. Like there's definitely opportunity here for what you want out of your love life to actually happen. But do your best. Like Spirit is really encouraging you to do your best to not allow the past cycles to make you disheartened or feel like that's all that there is and that things won't get any better. Because I don't feel like that's true. I feel like this next chapter is going to be a lot better for you. Especially because, like I said, all your cards are very like uplifting and positive and encouraging. And so it feels like this next chapter is going to be exactly like that. And one of the challenges might be that it's a bit uncomfortable. Maybe if you've not experienced, like another example that's coming through right now is like if you have not experienced healthy love and your patterns and cycles have all been kind of like dealing with unhealthy relationships, then it might feel a bit weird, and your mind and stuff may feel a bit resistant at times to this healthy love, and that might be something that you need to work through. And that's why I feel like Spirit is highlighting that, like, just because the past cycles are what you've known, it may come up in this next chapter and it may feel a bit weird, and internally you might feel a bit resistant. But just know that resistance isn't there because this is wrong. It's there because your body and your mind are getting accustomed to this new and next chapter. And so it just feels a bit foreign. And I think that will also be like a challenge that you'll likely be experiencing in this next chapter, is that misalignment feeling, or like adjusting to the new experiences in this next chapter, adjusting to moving away from the old cycles and patterns. And I feel like Spirit is saying during those moments when the old cycles or patterns come up, or when you feel like they're starting to come up, just remind yourself that this is only happening because I'm moving out of it. So it's okay. Like I think keep giving your mind really the encouragement it needs to know that you're safe and that it's okay. Like you're moving out of that old chapter and into this next one, and that's what feels a bit weird, and you'll be able to move out of that, and it'll feel a bit better once you are out of it. Once you get out of that, once you normalize the healthy relationship, once that healthy relationship feels normal to you, it will no longer feel resistant. So if you can keep affirming that to your mind, it'll be really helpful when these types of things come up. Now let's see how you are evolving in the next chapter of your love life. Spirit, how is pile 1 evolving in the next chapter of their love life? We have the Hermit being reversed. I love to see that in this reading, because it gives me the feeling that the Hermit being reversed is like you're evolving out of any introspective phases to actually applying what you've learned and the wisdom that you've gained externally. And then we have Strength being reversed. But because this question is how are you evolving, it's like it's coming upright. I feel like actually, I think the reason why all of your cards are reversed is actually because of what we were talking about earlier. It's like this next chapter is a lot about your inner world. And even with this Hermit being reversed, it feels like externally, all of the work that you're doing in your inner world, all the wisdom that you're gaining, all the strength that you're building, the courage that you're building, it's really going to help you externally, because you're going to be applying that externally. And maybe that's why it no longer feels like there's pressure, or maybe that's why as you move through these cycles and move out of any old cycles and patterns, it starts to feel more peaceful, because now you're applying all the wisdom and lessons that you've learned to your external reality, and you're gaining so much courage and strength, inner courage, and it's really building you up. I feel like internally you're becoming really strong and resilient, but also like really positive internally, and your inner world is shaping up to be one of love. It feels like this next chapter is really highlighting how much inner work you have done, or how much inner work you are doing currently, depending on when this next chapter starts for you. And in this next chapter, you're really going to notice externally the fruits of all the efforts you've put in internally. It also feels like you're evolving into somebody who has so much more strength and belief in themselves, who is secure, because even with the strength card, this makes me feel like internally you're really secure in yourself. And it's born out of the self-love that you've cultivated. It feels like this next chapter, your inner world is going to be full of so much love and vitality and joy. And even with Sun and Leo here, it feels like your inner world is just going to be so bright. And you might be very magnetic because of that. Like, because your inner world, you're pouring into it, you're giving yourself what you need, and you're really loving yourself, your inner world is then being projected externally, and this might make you more magnetic to others. And you might notice that it's helping you to attract in healthier relationships and healthier partnerships. Or just in general, it's attracting in, like we said, this community. It's attracting people into your life. So even if this doesn't have to deal with romantic love, it could be attracting in friendships and just other relationships into your life that feed that love that you have internally, that keep you feeling very positive and uplifted. I really love this reading, Pile 1. I love that this is the next chapter that's unfolding for you, because it seems like a really beautiful next chapter. One that your inner world is really being highlighted as key. And it's like you're pouring into your inner world. You're taking care of yourself. You're nurturing yourself. Your inner world specifically. And that is making you incredibly magnetic. And I do feel like this is more than just romantic love. I feel like this next chapter is bringing in a lot of different relationships into your life. Friendships, business partnerships, other types of relationships. Maybe it's like helping you to strengthen your family relationships. Whatever the case may be, I feel like you're going to enjoy your relationships in this next chapter. Like, relationships are going to feel much better, and because of the security that you're evolving into somebody who's much more secure in yourself. Like earlier we said, it doesn't feel like you're so worried about other people, and because you're secure in yourself, if somebody is in your life that you don't like or is somebody who's causing chaos, you're able to easily move away from that. No harm on you. It feels like that is making relationships so much more peaceful for you, and making your love life more peaceful as well. Spirit, what last message would you like to give Pile 1? What final message would you like to give Pile 1? Thank you. Oh, I love that. We have rhodonite, and I'm wearing, wait, it's right here. I'm wearing rhodonite. And rhodonite is a crystal for heart healing and opening your heart, but in a grounded way. So I really do feel like if you've been doing a lot of inner work, or you've done in the past, or you're currently doing it, I feel like that's really going to help you as you move into this next chapter. Then we have Lemurian quartz. Vision, big picture thinking, unlocking the secrets of infinite possibility. Every relationship has its ups and downs and its inherent magic, but Lemurian Quartz Spirit is now calling you to step back and see the big picture of what you are experiencing. Is it what you envision? Do you need to see something new so that you can feel a sense of contentment, purpose, and fulfillment? Can you awaken to your connection to the universe that lies within you so that you may be shown something even better than you dream about? Your power to imagine what you can co-create is very strong right now, and you are being urged to go big and wide with the vision that truly speaks to your soul's desire. Let the conscious universe show you what is possible in your relationships that you have not been aware of before. There is a big picture you have not been seeing. I also want to say that I feel like this next chapter, because of the self-love that you're cultivating within yourself, obviously because it's self-love, but because of that self-love, you're finally being able to see what healthy relationships feel like and what unhealthy relationships feel like, and that ability to like discern between the two is really helping you align with healthier relationships. And one of the challenges here with this Chariot being reversed might be that it feels a bit odd at first to align with healthy partnerships. People who aren't expecting you to be responsible for their emotions, people who are upfront with how they're feeling, that might feel a bit foreign and scary. And so that's something to be mindful of. But I feel like as you cultivate this greater sense of love and you continue to pour into yourself, it's really going to show you, like, it's like a stark difference between healthy love and unhealthy love. And I think that right there is going to be a huge eye-opener for you as you move into this next chapter. Lemurian quartz carries a softer, sweeter energy than many other types of quartz. Meditating with this stone assists in connecting us to the upper realms, where we can easily access higher knowledge from angels, guides, and the higher self. This connection also brings in feelings of love, compassion, and belonging, helping us understand that we are never alone. Through this next chapter, you're really going to be in a state of like inner connectedness, and I think it's going to be a really beautiful next chapter in your love life for you, pile 1. So this is where I'm going to leave your reading, pile 1. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you, and thank you so much for being here. I truly wish you a beautiful next chapter in your love life. If you like clarity specific to your journey and situation, I offer personal readings and one-on-one help through my website. It's linked in the description box below. And if you like this reading, then like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I'll catch you in another video or reading. Bye. Hello, pile 2. How are you doing? You've chosen this rose quartz tower, and I'm going to keep your crystal right here. And before we get into your reading, I had a few messages come through, and the first thing was that this next chapter has a lot to do with not forcing things to happen. Really seeing what naturally lines up for you, what naturally aligns for you. And I also saw the 10 of Cups while I was shuffling your deck, and I felt like it was saying it's worth it to wait for the right person or the things that you align with, rather than trying to force something with someone or with other things that just aren't in alignment with you. And I felt like this was in terms of like romantic love, but also in terms of friendships and things like that. I felt like this next chapter is heavily about not forcing anything, allowing things to naturally line up and seeing what naturally aligns with you and what doesn't. So let's get into your cards. And so we have the Bee, and this Bee card represents the energy of your next chapter. We then have inner peace, simplicity, passion, with Bhakti being reversed, and Bhakti is prayer. I also forgot to mention that I saw number 444 and 11 right before I started filming your pile. So those numbers could be significant to this next chapter. You might be seeing those numbers a lot, or as you enter this next chapter, you could be seeing those numbers a lot. But the number, like a repeating 4 usually has to do with our foundation, and the number 11 usually deals with a doorway opening or things opening up for you. So I do feel like this next chapter is about looking at your foundation when it comes to love, like exploring your relationship with your parents maybe, or with love in general, and exploring how that's influenced your current belief systems and things like that around love. Whether that's romantic love or friendships or family love, it doesn't really matter. But I feel like this next chapter is you really taking a look at the foundations of that and exploring how those things are influencing you right now. I also feel like because the energy of your next chapter is the Bee here, that things are going to be quite busy for you in terms of love. If this doesn't deal with romantic love, this could be you and your friends are going out a lot. Maybe you have a lot of activities planned. Maybe you have a lot of work that you're doing. And this could also be for some of you that you are actively putting in work to seek a relationship, or maybe you're actively focusing on working on your love life. For others of you, I feel like your career might be in some way related to your love life. So for example, I'm seeing two different things. For some of you, maybe you're meeting somebody through your career, or somebody through work. But for others of you, I feel like maybe your work life is impacting your love life. And so you might be in this next chapter really evaluating your priorities and seeing what is important for you, and making some adjustments in your time and your schedule so that you can, if you are wanting to date and explore, so you have the time to do so. Because for some of you, you may not have the time. Like if you're working a lot, you may not have the time to dedicate to a relationship, and that might be something in this next chapter that you're looking at and you're evaluating, and that might be also why we have simplicity here and inner peace, because I feel like you're coming to find balance in that. Maybe you're cutting down your workload, or you're trying to balance out work and your love life, so career and your love life. Your career in some way is significant to this next chapter of your love life though. Because we have passion here, I feel like the next chapter of your love life is going to be passionate. It's going to be busy. I do feel like there's a lot of things going on in your love life, and I do feel like you're going to be kept very active. I'm also feeling like over this next chapter in your love life, you'll really be breaking free from any repetitive cycles and patterns. You could be exploring those repetitive cycles and patterns in your love life. I do feel like for some of you, this next chapter is also about exploring the past, your past relationships, your past experiences in your love life. I feel like you're making peace with the past, and also making peace with any unanswered prayers when it came to your love life in the past. Especially for, like, this is specific to those of you who maybe prayed for somebody to come back into your life and that didn't happen. I feel like that didn't happen for a reason. It was in your benefit. And this next chapter, it feels like you're making peace with that. You're like closing that out, or you're getting the closure you need. So for those of you, if that applies, I do feel like in this next chapter of your love life, you're getting the true closure that you needed, or you felt that you wanted. For others of you, I feel like you're really just exploring your relationship with your love life and any issues that may have been there. For example, like we were saying with the B card, if you've been working so much and you're not able to dedicate time to your love life, I feel like in this next chapter, you're really exploring that, and you're breaking out of that cycle. Definitely feel like in this next chapter of your love life though, there's a lot more activity and you're taking an active part in your love life. So it feels like you're changing things up so that you can take an active part in your love life. It's like, it doesn't feel like you're standing off to the side or just allowing things to unfold as they will. Like, it seems like you're being much more intentional and taking a more active role and approach in your love life. So let's take a look at your tarot cards. The first thing we're going to see is the main theme of your next chapter. So Spirit, what is the main theme of pile 2's next chapter in their love life? It was coming sideways, so I'd take that as being upright and reversed. And we do have the Ace of Swords at the bottom. It is so fitting, though, that this next chapter, the main theme of it is work. The Eight of Pentacles usually depicts somebody hard at work. So I really do feel like the main theme of this next chapter is working, but it's interesting. I think you're taking a more balanced approach. So it feels like, because it came kind of like sideways, this gives me the feeling that you're being active but not forcing things. And maybe that's a message to be mindful of, but it does kind of feel like this next chapter, the main theme is being active, taking an active role, being intentional, working towards your goals in your love life, but not being forceful, not putting unnecessary pressure on yourself or on things. And also, because we have the Eight of Pentacles and that does deal with work, again, work keeps coming up. So it does seem like the main theme of your love life in this next chapter could also be somehow related to your career. Maybe you're, again, figuring out how to balance both, figuring out how to pour into your love life without neglecting your career, and vice versa. I also feel like the main theme of this next chapter is anything that has been weighing you down or feeling burdensome when it comes to your love life. I feel like you're addressing that. I feel like you're working on that. You're gaining clarity on that, because this Ace of Swords makes me feel like you're gaining clarity on the things that have been weighing you down when it comes to your love life, the things that have been bothering you, or the things that you feel like have been like lingering under the surface that need to be addressed. I think that those things are being addressed in this next chapter. You're really prioritizing that. And for some reason, I'm hearing that your hard work is paying off with this Eight of Pentacles. I don't really know if that has anything to do with your love life. Maybe for some of you it does, but I really feel like that's related to your career. And for some reason in your pile in specific, career keeps coming up. So it really seems like your love life and your career are intertwined, or maybe they're impacting each other like we've been saying. But I am hearing that message, so I am giving it to you. But I don't feel like it's related to your love life. I feel like it's actually related to your career. But it could be both, maybe. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe for you, it really does have to do with both. Like, you really are juggling both your career and your love life, and you're trying to figure both out, navigate both, and see how you can like blend the two, or find a balance between the two. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe for some of you, you're meeting somebody who's helping you to balance those things out, or somebody who is just as passionate and just as driven when it comes to their career, so they understand you on a better level or on a deeper level, and they're not expecting you to drop your career for them, and you're able to like work those things out. So because this is your general reading, just take what applies to your situation. But let's see a blessing that's coming in for you during this next chapter in your love life. Spirit, what is one blessing that is coming in for pile 2 during this next chapter in their love life? And for some of you, if you have been maybe single for a while, I thought I saw another card flip out, but if you've been single for a while, see, what did I say? I saw the 10 of Cups when I was shuffling, and as a blessing, that's crazy. But let me finish what I was saying earlier. But for those of you who may have been single for a while now, and it may have felt like things were not moving in the direction that you wanted to, or that things were not progressing in your love life, I feel like in this next chapter you're addressing the maybe root causes of why you haven't seen the progress that you wanted, or you're becoming really clear on what that looks like for you. What does that progress look like for you? What is it that you actually want? I feel like you're really getting clear on that, and then you're able to see how you can maybe make those things happen. And an example just to help paint this picture is like, let's say a goal of yours or an outcome that you desired in your love life was being able to meet somebody who is just as career driven as you are and who's looking to build a like solid life for themselves, and so they're extremely busy in their career and building themselves up. But maybe you haven't been putting yourself in places where you would meet people like that. Maybe you've been looking in the wrong areas. It feels like you're getting more clear on that, what your goals are, who you actually want, and then aligning your actions to that goal. So anyways, because we have the Page of Cups here as a blessing, it feels like you're going from from 0 to 100, if that makes sense. Like going from wishing, from hoping and praying to having the wishes fulfilled, having that ultimate fulfillment, feeling so full of love and life and feeling whole and complete. It feels like the blessing that's coming into your life, it's like this feeling of being loved. This is somewhat reminding me of pile 1's reading. So some of you could have been called to pile 1, but I do feel like this next chapter, a blessing that's coming in for you, is this feeling of fulfillment, feeling like I have all that I could desire. I have my happy ending almost. And not to say that your love life is like ending or anything like that, but it feels like you got what you wanted out of it. Because usually the 10 of Cups, or that's something that you're working towards, I feel like, in this next chapter, like you're actively on the path to getting your 10 of Cups ultimate happiness. Because the 10 of Cups usually depicts like a happy family. All the cups are full of love and joy, and they're just enjoying their life and enjoying their company, and there's just a lot of good feelings and good vibes circulating between them. And I feel like for you, this next chapter is you actively walking towards that and getting clear on that. What does that look like for you? What would a happy and fulfilling love life look like for you? Getting clear on that, and then taking the actions necessary to walk that path. And as a blessing, it's like you're receiving the vision that you've been like desiring. It's like you're receiving the ultimate vision that you had for your love life. Also feel like a blessing that's coming in during this next chapter in your love life is that you're building a much stronger relationship with your intuition and your intuitive gifts, and through that you're able to have much better discernment on what is in alignment with your vision and what isn't. It also feels like you're getting clearer on that vision. The other thing with this Page of Cups, I feel like for some of you, you could be having a child in this next chapter, because the pages usually represent children. So maybe if you already have children, your focus and attention could really be on them. You could be pouring into them, and it may be filling you up as well. You might feel fulfilled that you're able to connect and bond with your children in this way. But if you don't have children, you could be potentially having a child, and that could be a very fulfilling thing for you as well. And for others of you, this feels like the blessing is the vision that you're setting for your love life, the intentions you're setting, the vision that you have for your love life. The path to that is unfolding, and you're walking the path to get that. So let's see what a challenge to be mindful of during this next chapter. Spirit, what is one challenge pile 2 should be mindful of during this next chapter in their love life? A lot of things apparently. We have the Death card here. We have the 6 of Swords and the 5 of Cups being reversed. I want to say that the first thing coming to me is a challenge you may experience during this next chapter in your love life is letting the past stay in the past, is not like is moving forward from the past experiences that you've had in your love life, is truly closing out your past cycles or any disappointments that you may have faced in your love life and moving forward. I feel like at times it may feel a bit challenging to let go of the past or to not be bitter about the past, or if bitter isn't the right word, then it might just be that at times you may find it a bit challenging to stop, to not think about the past or to not dwell on the past and your past experiences, or on, like, for some of you this could be that it doesn't necessarily have to deal with the past per se. It could be just worry about things not working out. Yeah, because the thing that keeps coming up is that it may at times feel a bit challenging to move on from the past and to get that closure and really just close it out and move on and move forward. Maybe it's a specific person, or just in general the experiences that you've had in your love life. It feels like a challenge might be to truly just let it go and not keep revisiting it. That might be a challenge that comes up during this next chapter. And even if you meet somebody, I feel like some of you might be a bit hesitant at times, wondering if it's too good to be true, or if, like, just almost it feels like anticipating for something bad to happen or for something to go wrong. And I feel like that might be a challenge that you're working through as well during this next chapter, is not being so on edge or so guarded and worried about things going wrong. Like, it feels like you may have to be a little more intentional with enjoying each moment and not staying in a state of worry about things going wrong. Also feeling like, because we have this Knight of Wands here at the bottom, for some of you, a challenge to be mindful of during this next chapter is to not make impulsive or hasty decisions, to really, like, sit with your decisions or to sit with your thoughts, and before making any, like, hasty decisions or assumptions about somebody. Also, it feels like if you do notice something, the challenge could be in addressing it rather than immediately jumping to, like, the worst case scenario. Like, an example to help paint this picture is, let's say somebody doesn't respond in a few days, and automatically you assume that, you know, they're playing games or this or that, or, like, you take it to the worst. It may, like, your mind might go to the worst case scenarios, but that person could have been dealing with some family things and maybe they genuinely couldn't respond for whatever reasons. So in that case, it's like, rather than assuming, asking for the clarity. And I feel like that could be a slight challenge here, is instead of assuming the worst or jumping to, like, the worst case scenarios, is taking a step back and addressing anything or evaluating it before making any hasty assumptions or decisions. Let's see how you are evolving in the next chapter of your love life. Spirit, how is pile 2 evolving in the next chapter of their love life? Wow. Look, and we have the 4 of Wands at the bottom. And the 4 of Wands usually deals with celebration, with home, with commitment and marriage as well. So some of you could be, like, again, take what applies to your situation. You could be meeting somebody where you feel like there's a lot of long-term potential here and you could feel very celebrated, but I feel like you're evolving into somebody with this Magician and the King of Swords who is much more confident in their ability to manifest their desires, who is much more confident in their ability to manifest the vision that they have for their life, to have it actually unfold. I also feel like this is you evolving into somebody who's much more open with their communication, who is clear with what they want, who is extremely clear with the relationships that they want and the love life that they want. It feels like you're evolving into somebody who's breaking free from the past and really intentionally working on the future, really intentionally creating the vision for their future, not continuing to envision the things of the past, but instead it feels like you're evolving through this next chapter in your love life. You're evolving into somebody who's more focused on envisioning the future that they have for themselves and their love life, who's more focused on getting clear on what they want moving forward. And it also feels like your communication is evolving too in this next chapter. So you could be communicating clearly with other people, with potential like romantic interests, or with family, with your kids, with things like that. Like, it seems like you're really bridging gaps in communication. Your communication just seems to be evolving and enhancing. And I feel like that's building a lot more confidence within yourself as well. And also your mind is being highlighted here, because both the Magician and the King of Swords deals with air signs. So it feels like you're evolving in this next chapter of your love life. You're evolving into somebody whose mind is more aligned with your vision. It's like your mind isn't questioning you at every step of the way. It seems like your mind is really on board, and it's positively supporting you and your vision for your love life and your career, because career keeps coming up in this reading. So again, I feel like your career and your love life seem to be intertwined. Maybe some of you are looking to manifest big things in both your career and your love life, and it seems like in this next chapter of your love life, you're really evolving into the person who has much more confidence in their manifestation abilities, who is able to easily envision what they want for their life and make it a reality, whose thoughts align with the vision that they have for their life moving forward. And I also feel like, because again with this Four of Wands here, your home life could be improving, and you could be evolving in your interpersonal relationships as well. You could be developing stronger bonds, and you could be evolving into somebody who's able to bond deeply with others without losing sight of yourself or your vision. Like, an example that's coming through is, let's say you're really passionate about a certain business or a certain goal of yours, and you get into a relationship, and maybe in the past you would put your goals aside to prioritize the relationship, but in this case, in this next chapter, it feels like you're evolving into somebody who's learning how to do both, how to prioritize both and not sacrifice your visions and your passions and your personal goals for the relationship. I also feel like you're evolving into somebody who's much more clear on the home life that they want, the environment they want to create in their home, and what that looks like. I feel like you're not only becoming clear on it, but you're also taking action on it. Your mind, I really strongly feel you're evolving into somebody whose mind is on board with their vision. So your mind is starting to actively support your vision, and when it comes to your home life, your mind is supporting that as well, is showing you how you can create the vision that you have for your home life or for your love life in general. And this goes beyond just your love life. It feels like your vision for your life, your mind is getting on board with that. You're evolving into somebody through this next chapter whose mind is starting to support your vision, is so showing you different ways that you can make your vision a reality. Let's get your last message from Spirit. Spirit, what final message would you like to give pile 2 on their love life? We have Sodalite. And I'm pretty sure Sodalite deals with communication and the throat chakra. So maybe over this next chapter, you're really learning how to communicate. I also feel like partly with this Magician and King of Swords here, you're evolving into somebody who understands how to communicate their needs, who understands how to communicate to other people, how they're feeling, how they're doing, what they need in a relationship, or what they want to see out of a relationship. We have intentionality, conscious awareness, an awakened state, inner knowing, and self-confidence, clear expression of intentions. And I do feel like that's who you're evolving into over this next chapter of your love life, is somebody who's very clear on their intentions with themselves and with others. Healing doesn't require perfection, but it does require that you remain awake to the truth that you are a divine, beautiful being always connected to the conscious universe, who wants the very best for you. Spiritual amnesia will send you circling back to old patterns you vowed never to repeat. The appearance of Sodalite Spirit is a reminder to reestablish your sense of connection so that the conscious universe can guide you to where you need to be. Do not forget your worth, your values, and your truth. If you are unsure of the next move to make, meditate. As you remain present in the moment, you will more easily avoid spiritual narcolepsy and falling back into the old ways. Sodalite teaches us to be here now rather than lost in the past or gazing into the future. Meditation with this stone allows us to experience the wisdom of our journey thus far. It encourages non-attachment and integration of all experiences, helping us to make choices in the moment from a higher perspective. And I feel like that so perfectly sums up everything that we've been talking about in your reading. And I do feel like that's who you're stepping into through this next chapter. I think a lot of the experiences that will happen in this next chapter are there to help you evolve into this person who's much more confident in themselves, but also who's intentionally doing things. And again, like, it goes back to the very first message that I was getting before I pulled your cards of like not forcing things. And it feels like over this next chapter in your love life, you're evolving into somebody who isn't forcing anything, but is rather just being present in the moment and allowing things to unfold. So pile 2, this is where I'm going to leave your reading. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you, and thank you so much for being here. I genuinely hope you enjoy this next chapter of your love life. And if you'd like clarity specific to your journey and situation, I offer personal readings and one-on-one help through my website linked in the description box. And if you like the reading, then like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I'll catch you in another video or reading. Bye. Hello pile 3, how are you doing? You've chosen this rose quartz raw chunk, and I'm going to keep your crystal right here. And now let's get into your cards. I also wanted to mention that I saw number 33 right before I started your reading. So the number 33 could be significant to this next chapter in your love life. Maybe you're seeing that a lot, or maybe you will be seeing that a lot when as this next chapter approaches. But let's get into your cards. So we have Stingray, and this Stingray card represents the energy of your next chapter. We then have flexibility with blessings, fertility, and oh, I got 2 of these. We have Agnya, which is the 3rd eye chakra, and Dharana, which I'll have to look up. Pile 3, I find it so crazy that you have the blessings card here and fertility. I will say, for some of you, if you don't want children or anything like that, just be mindful, because I do feel like this next chapter in your love life, there may be opportunities to have children, and if that's not something you want, then just be, mindful of that. The other thing I'm feeling like is this next chapter is a lot about getting to know you. It feels like while other the external things are happening too, it feels like you're really developing a sense of self. This Stingray card being the energy of your next chapter in love, it feels like you're developing your sense of self, finally sticking up for yourself, really getting clear on what it is that you want out of your love life, who you want to be when it comes to your love and relationships, like how you want to show up to your love life and relationships. I really feel like you're focusing on developing your sense of self and being more secure in yourself. It feels like you're seeing how you can best love yourself and what you need in order to feel loved. And I also feel like the next chapter of your love life, you're focused on seeing what experiences you want in love. What do you want to experience when it comes to your love life and your relationships and things like that. I do feel like you're prioritizing self-care, but it seems more than just like pouring into yourself. This to me feels like really looking at your self-worth and your self-esteem and building your self up, especially because on the Stingray card we have the spine, and it feels like to me like the chakras are all highlighted on the spine. It feels like a few things. The first thing I feel like is you're developing your sense of self. You're building confidence over this next chapter in your love life. You're building confidence in yourself. You're like looking at your self-worth and your values and how you treat yourself, and you're exploring all of those things. But I also feel like energetically some of you could be going through like an awakening of sorts, and maybe a spiritual awakening, and somehow this is really impacting the next chapter of your love life. And I think it's really opening you up to your own intuitive and psychic gifts and abilities, especially because we have the third eye here. It feels like Spirit is calling you to pay attention to the intuitive messages that you receive, because there's a lot of like important, valuable insight that's coming through to you. And I think over this next chapter in your love life, you're really connecting with your energy, your intuition, developing a stronger bond there, and also your, like we were saying, your sense of self, your self-worth, your confidence, and your faith and trust in yourself. I want to say that like over the next chapter of your love life, you're really building your self-esteem, and I think you're coming to value yourself more. I do feel like you're being more flexible because we have this flexibility card, and you're not being so rigid on outcomes. I think over the next chapter of your love life, you're being more open to flow and flexibility, and rather than being rigid on outcomes, it feels like you're open to see where things go, or you're open to see how things unfold. And you're learning how to be more confident in yourself and be more self-assured. And through this, I think it's helping you to be more flexible. And not flexible in the sense of your values, because I feel like that's one of the things that this next chapter you're really working on, is being solid in your values, but able to be flexible in other areas. So you're not like sacrificing your values and your principles for flexibility, you know, like you're not giving into people pleasing, but you're also not being so rigid that it's like cutting experiences in your life, where it's not allowing for enjoyable experiences. I feel like you're learning how to manage that and balance those things out. Let's get your tarot cards. So Spirit, what is the main theme of Pile 3's next chapter in their love life? What is the main theme? Wow. Whoa. All the cards. So this is a lot. But I just want to show you that the lovers came up here. So the main theme of your love life is like prioritizing healthy relationships and seeing how you can like improve yourself to be that healthy partner. And not improve in the way that you're not enough right now, but rather out of love for yourself, seek that improvement. So, Spirit, can I just get one card to see? Thank you. We have the Page of Swords here. With this Page of Swords, and we also have the Six of Wands at the bottom, which the Six of Wands is like a card of victory, of being seen, of being celebrated. So I feel like the main theme of your next chapter when it comes to your love life is one, learning how to communicate your thoughts and your feelings and your needs and your desires in a relationship, learning how to communicate that without making it feel like demands, but rather like expressing these things as a need. Because sometimes when we come from an unhealthy place, and this is something that I used to struggle with as well, like because we don't necessarily know how to communicate our needs, it can feel like we're demanding something, or maybe if other people are communicating their needs, it can feel like they're demanding something out of us. But once we start to heal from that and work on that, we naturally start to improve in our ability to communicate those needs and express our needs in a loving and caring way, in a grounded way. So I feel like that's something that you're learning, and that's the main theme of this next chapter in love, is really learning about healthy love, is really learning about what that feels like, what that looks like, how you can align with that, and healing from any past situations that may have felt like they were keeping you from that, or may have felt like they were influencing you but in the wrong way, in a way that wasn't really in alignment with you and the goals that you have moving forward. I really do feel like you're learning more about yourself and the things within you that you want to improve, again from a place of love for yourself, so you can have that healthy union. It just seems like the main theme of this next chapter is really learning about what it takes to be in a healthy union, what that looks like, and what you would need to do in order to position yourself to have that. Even if it's like a healthy union within yourself, like a healthy union between your masculine and feminine energies, if you're not really looking for a romantic relationship, or maybe it's a healthy union in terms of with your family and friends, whatever that looks like for you, I feel like this next chapter is really you learning what that looks like and how to align with that. And with this Six of Wands, it also makes me feel like over this next chapter, the main theme is allowing yourself to be seen. Even as you learn and grow about healthy relationships, allowing yourself to be seen, and also allowing your vulnerable side to come out, allowing your raw and real side to be seen, and not just putting on a show, but allowing like your inner child to also be seen. So let's see, Spirit, what is a blessing that's coming in for pile 3 during this next chapter of their love life? What is a blessing that's coming in for pile 3? We literally have the blessing card. Wow. So the Goddess Ella and the two Goddess cards in this deck are unique to this deck, and they rarely come out. When I use this deck, it's a very rare sighting. So the fact that you have this Goddess Ella card, a blessing that's coming during this next chapter, is, I feel like like this feels like you growing in confidence. This feels like you standing up tall and feeling more confident in yourself, feeling more self-assured, really trusting yourself. It feels like you evolving into the version of you that you wished you could be, or the version of you that you've always wanted to be. It feels like over this next chapter in your love life, you're really learning to align with that. You're evolving into that. And we're going to see how you're evolving in the next chapter of your love life. But as a blessing, I definitely feel like you're stepping into like your goddess energy or your divine energy, regardless of your gender. This feels like you're stepping into your divine energy and connecting truly with your inner self. Even with this third eye and the chakra card here, like you could really be going through an awakening during this next chapter of your love life. Then we have the Seven of Pentacles, the Tower, and the Five of Pentacles as a blessing. So the Tower here as a blessing, it feels like the old foundation, the old things that were hindering your ability to have the healthy union that you want or have the love life that you wanted, regardless of what that looks like for you. It feels like those old things are being destroyed. It feels like they're being removed from your life. And this is a blessing. So anything over this next chapter, things that are being removed from your life are a blessing for you. It feels like you're overcoming any feelings of being perpetually single. For some of you, that may be really bothering you. And I feel like over this next chapter, you're really overcoming that. As a blessing, it feels like you're coming out of the cold. This Five of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles is usually two figures outside of a church, and it's freezing cold outside, but there's a warm light inside, and they're kind of suffering, even though right next to them there's an opportunity to end their suffering. So to me, it feels like as a blessing, anything that has been a struggle in your love life, anything that has been causing you a lot of pains or a lot of feelings of discomfort or unease, I feel like this next chapter is really addressing that, is clearing those things up. And we do have the Seven of Pentacles, so it does feel like as a blessing, things are growing behind the scenes, and you may not necessarily see all of the growth that's happening, and it might require patience, but there's stability being had here. So like through this Tower moment and through the destruction of the old foundation that wasn't serving you, that isn't aligned with the love that you want and the vision that you have for moving forward in your love life, all those things are coming down and being removed. And the Seven of Pentacles is like you're having to be patient with that process. It also feels like as a blessing, your patience is paying off, in the sense that like you've been maybe for some of you, you've been single for a while and you've been very patient, and the blessing that's coming in during this next chapter is that the patience is suddenly bringing you out of the cold, or it's suddenly bringing you the warmth that you desire and the connection that you desire. And more than anything, I feel like this is helping you to evolve. It really feels like this next chapter in your love life is about your evolution through the removal of things that don't align with you. And I feel like a blessing that's happening, especially because we have this Tower and the Goddess Ella, it feels like you're reclaiming your own power, you're reclaiming your own energy over this next chapter. And it's happening by you releasing the old things that no longer served you, or the old relationship patterns and cycles or situations that you may have been holding on to, even some like resentment or grudges. I feel like you're letting go of all of that, and it's freeing your energy so much. It's really allowing you to reclaim your own energy. So, Spirit, what is one challenge that pile 3 should be mindful of during this next chapter in their love life? Thank you. We have the 8 of Swords. Yeah, like, and then the 2 of Wands at the bottom. The 8 of Swords typically shows a figure surrounded by swords, and they're tied up and blindfolded. And this feels like being trapped. But the wisdom of the 8 of Swords is understanding that you still have the ability to free yourself. So a challenge to be mindful of during this next chapter is that you're not trapping yourself in mental loops about the past, that you don't keep looking to the past or wishing past things worked out, or trying to hold on to things that are like being dropped from your life. For example, like, let's say a friendship is being removed from your life, and it's being removed because it no longer aligns with you. It's actually not beneficial for you. I also feel like, because we have this 2 of Wands here, and usually the 2 of Wands is like we're looking forward but we're not ready to make a move yet. So I do feel like for some of you over this next chapter, a challenge could be keeping yourself stuck where you're at, not taking the step forward, or not making that step. Like, maybe it's you need to actively release some people from your life or release some things, and maybe you're a bit afraid, which is valid. And I do feel like that might be why it's a bit challenging to make that move or to take that step, and that's why I feel like Spirit is calling it to your attention, because Spirit wants you to know that in doing so, in taking that step, it's actually going to be incredibly beneficial for you, and it's going to align you with the desires that you have, the actual desires that are on your heart. It's going to free you from the past. I really do feel like a challenge could be that trapping yourself in the loop of the past, and Spirit is saying that when those things come up, or if it comes up, try to affirm to yourself that breaking free from this past, taking this action to break myself out of this past cycle, is actually going to be so beneficial. It's bringing me closer to my actual desires and vision and what I want out of my love life. Let's see how you're evolving in the next chapter of your love life. Spirit, how is pile 3 evolving in the next chapter of their love life? I feel like your love life in general is about your evolution. This next chapter in your love life is all about your evolution. We have the 10 of Cups. I love this. This came out in pile 2 as well for their blessing. But because it's coming up here, wow, and we have the Empress and the Ace of Cups. Pile 3, I love where things are going for you in this next chapter of your love life. But let me just not get sidetracked. The 10 of Cups being here, it makes me feel like you're evolving into somebody who is so much more fulfilled within themselves, who loves themselves truly, who is pouring into themselves, who has met themselves where they need to be met, and who is enjoying their life. You're evolving into somebody who's making meaningful life experiences and prioritizing those things, who's truly like abundant internally. It's literally like all your cups are filled. So I feel like you're evolving into somebody who's really nurturing themselves. The Empress is like the divine mother. You're nurturing yourself, you're caring for yourself. And with the Ace of Cups here, it feels like you're entering a new chapter entirely when it comes to your love life. Like, things are really turning around for you, changing. The partners you attract, the people you attract, the friendships, things like that, it's all changing because of this evolution you're going through. And it feels like an evolution of loving yourself, of finally sticking up for yourself and doing things out of love for yourself, taking care of yourself, and being willing and ready to release the past and move into the future and desires that you have moving forward. I feel like you're really coming to evolve into somebody who's caring for themselves, who pours into themselves and recognizes their needs, and also recognizes what you need to feel loved and appreciated, and then giving yourself that, allowing others to pour into you. This also feels like you're evolving into somebody who's receptive, who's allowing others to pour into them, who isn't afraid of that, who's open to that, and whose cup is open with discernment, of course, because we do have the Empress here. It feels like you're very discerning about that, but you're still open to allowing others to pour into you. Like you're evolving into somebody through this next chapter of your love life who's finally ready for the love and relationships that they desire, and you're freeing yourself from the old patterns, the old cycles, completely removing the old and past from your life and moving into what you actually desire. I really love this, pile 3. Let's get your last message from Spirit. Spirit, what final message do you have for pile 3? I also feel like over this next chapter, you're evolving into somebody who, oh my God, I'm just noticing now. We have fertility and the Empress. Some of you really could be becoming a parent. Yeah, because the Empress is also pregnant, and so there's a lot here that's dealing with parenting. You could really be having a child over this next chapter in your love life. But going back to what I was saying before that, I feel like for some of you over this next chapter, you're treating yourself to much better experiences. I feel like your value, your self-worth is increasing, your self-esteem and the value you place on yourself is increasing, and because of that, you're evolving into somebody who's willing to pour time, energy, money, resources into themselves, into having fulfilling experiences in their life. I feel like you're prioritizing those things, and you're okay with luxury, like giving yourself the luxuries that you enjoy, whether that's like a spa day or whatever that looks like for you. Giving yourself the luxuries that you enjoy because you're worth it. That's who you're evolving into. Somebody who's not afraid to invest in themselves. It feels like you're more than willing to invest in your needs, into what self-care looks like for you, into your emotional needs, and filling yourself up, like we said. Really caring for yourself, and that seems to be a priority for you. So you're evolving into somebody who is prioritizing that, who is going to give themselves that extra treat. Like you're giving yourself the luxuries because you've earned it and you're worth it. And that's who you're evolving into through this next chapter of your love life. We have Santine Garnet, and it did come reversed, so I'm going to read from the guidebook for that. I also feel like over this next chapter in your love life, you're connecting to your third eye, but also to your sacral chakra. And it's interesting that there's so much stuff here about fertility, literally fertility. The Empress is like pregnant, so, and the sacral chakra is like our passions, our desire, our life force energy. So I really feel like over this next chapter, you're learning to connect with your life force energy. You're learning to prioritize it, to allow it to boost you up. I feel like you're really boosting yourself up and connecting deeply to your life force energy. So we have charm and charisma, shining and sparkling, being a brilliant beacon of confidence that inspires others. You are a unique being with a light only you can emit. Do you think you have to work harder to make people like you? What if your soulmate is out there waiting for you to stop trying so hard and just be your glorious, amazing, brilliant self? What if your soulmate is waiting for your beacon to send out the message, I'm here and ready for a partner to shine with me? Today is a good day to recognize that all is attractive in you and stop trying to hide it out of some sort of fear that others might not be comfortable seeing you in your full glory. Shine brightly today. Meditation with this stone might be challenging because its energy feels like that of a bossy cheerleader. This stone is a must for building and finding your self-confidence, personal power, and creativity. Santine Garnet asks you to stand up straight, hold your head high, and strut your stuff. Pile, 3, that is literally everything we've been talking about in your reading. And I honestly feel like it needs to be upright, but that's exactly what you're working on over this next chapter in your love life. You're working on that. You're truly building up your self-confidence. You're prioritizing that. And because of that, you're evolving so drastically. It feels like you're stepping out of the old completely, and you're doing like a 180 flip in your life, and things are changing around for you so drastically. I love this. Pile 3, this is where I'm going to leave your reading. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you, and thank you so much for being here. I really hope you enjoy this next chapter in your love life, and if you'd like clarity specific to your journey and situation, I offer personal readings and one-on-one help through my website. It's linked in the description box below. And if you like this reading, then like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I'll catch you in another video or reading. Bye.